Hey, everybody. I wanted to bring you back to the garden to show you what has happened since the last time that I had you here. Now, remember, I believe my garden looks best in the spring. By the time the summer comes, everything looks a little scraggly, but there are still some things that are interesting out here. Okay, so first, let me show you this. This, I'm not sure of what type of tree this is, if it's a tree or if it's a bush. And if any of you know what it is, let me know. What happened with this is that it came in another plant that I purchased, and it just grew. And so I just stuck it in the ground to see what it was. And I'm not sure uh, if it's going to be a tree or a bush. But I think right now, since it's small, it just adds something to the garden. All right. So we missed the roses coming out. They already bloomed and everything. But there are some things here that I haven't seen in a while because I cut those trees down. So I'm getting a lot more sun than I used to. So here, this is a blackberry that I haven't seen uh, in a few years. So it looks like it's going to try to come back. And we're going to see if we can get some blackberries on it. And this clematis, it hadn't bloomed in a while because of the sunlight. Now, the only thing um, is that I'm getting a lot more sun now than I used to, but what I'm getting is the evening sun, which is the hottest. And this is the first year that I'm seriously trying to grow vegetables. I've never really tried before. I've planted some things out here that I got from Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever, stick it in the ground and not care anything about it. But the vegetables that I gotten this time, I got the heirloom seeds, and I'll show you later what that looks like in case you want to get some. It may be a little bit um, late for you to plant this year, but the heirloom seeds are great to have because with a GMO coming around and they are producing crops without seeds, seeds are going to be a great commodity. So you really want to stock up on these seeds. All right, so I'm going to show you some of the plants that I grew from the seeds. All right, and what I did, I don't have a special bed out here for my plants, so I just stuck them in where I could. All right, so here's a pot right here that's got, I guess this is a squash or something. And I'm just learning how do you propagate this. Apparently, when it has that little stem on it like that, it's a female. So when the flower comes out, I may have to pollinate it. And I saw someone online who would harvest the male flowers. And then when the female opens up, then you do a self-pollination. So it looks like I may have to do that. All right. So I'm just learning as we go. And here is the tree that died from the snow. It was a beautiful tree. I don't think it's going to come back. So we got to change that. Now, let's look at this. Now, as we go through this, some of these things I didn't really label. Next year I'm going to take it more seriously and label everything so I know what everything is. But here it's like, okay, we'll see what happens. Now, I have a strawberry that has lasted since the very beginning. I must have bought this strawberry years ago. And it survived the winter and everything. I don't think the strawberries are perennials, but this one is. All right. And I brought it back. I got some good soil, and here it is. Look, it's already producing strawberries on here. So, and it's getting big. So I'm really happy with what's going on with that strawberry. Now, what I did with some of the shoots, I'm going to see if I can start, from this, if it'll start over again to have a few more plants like that that'll last through the winter. I like that. All right, now here's something here. I'm not sure what it is, But as it grows, we'll see. It came from the seeds. Now we have a tomato coming up right there. I think that's over there some kind of melon. And here are my peppers. I have the little bugs. But as they grow taller, it doesn't seem like the bugs is affecting them as much. All right, so it looks like something was pollinated here because I see some little buds trying to grow. Now look at this. Look at that tomato. Again, this is from seeds, from the heirloom seeds. Okay, you see how tall that tomato got? I never had a tomato to grow that tall before. Okay, so I'm learning as we go. And here we go with another kind of melon. Not sure what it is, but it's looking good. So I know you gardeners, you know what it is. So send me a line and let me know, what am I growing here? Because next year I'm going to be more diligent in marking everything so I'll know when it comes up. But I'm just fascinated that it's growing. Okay. So yeah, this is a melon and it is kind of stretching out. And remember, I have this parsley down here was so wonderful. You see, I clipped it already because I saw someone online says to harvest your parsley when it gets pretty lengthy, but leave about 4 or 5 inches on it and it'll grow back. And this is what's happening right here. Look at this. Can you see this? It's coming back. And I mean, all of these sprouts were all over the place. I cut it off and it's looking beautiful again. And here is one that I moved over here. I had it in another place where it wasn't doing as well, but now it looks like it's trying to come back. And this right here, I believe this is thyme. Oh, it has a beautiful, strong fragrance. It's wonderful. And I believe that this is a type of tomato, if I'm not mistaken. But we'll see if it's a tomato or a pepper as it grows. Now let's see what else I have out here. Now over here, this right here, I'm not sure what that is. Okay, maybe you can tell me what this is. And these leaves, I believe that's some kind of melon. I believe that I did plant some cucumbers out here, but I don't know where. So we'll see, you know, if they develop as time goes on. And again, my peppers, I've been moving them to see which is the best place to grow them. So next year, I'll just grow them in the place that they like best. All right. So now let's look at these tomatoes over here. They get sun, but these tomatoes get the evening sun. You see, I got too many trees for the morning sun. It comes filtered, but the evening sun is pretty strong. Now, these tomatoes right here, as you can see, they're coming out great. And if you can see way back there in the back, it's a different kind of tomato. They're the long kind. And here's one that you can see better. Look at this. See those tomatoes right there? Those are the types of tomatoes that I like to buy at the store. The long kind of, I don't know what you call it. I think it was Italian tomatoes, but I really like them a lot. Now, I have a plant in here that's not doing quite as well because I didn't know what I was doing with it, but I don't know if it'll come back or not. But I didn't really have the ground for it, so I just kind of stretched it back over on the ground to see if it would take hold. And here is another squash over here. And as you can see where that shoot is, I think that's where the cucumber or squash or whatever it is going to develop once that flower, you can see Once that flower blooms, I'll pollinate it and see what we have. Okay. And then I got really ambitious and I planted a corn. This is the first time that I've done anything like this. So we got to see what happens. All right. Now here is the corn. I don't know if you can see it. It's got some little hairs on it or whatever. So it's coming back. Now my fig, I thought I lost it in the snow. I really did because it went down to the ground. And all of the stems that were there before, it looked like they just died from the snow. But look at this. It came right back. It must be a hardy fig. Here it is. Can you see it? And when it produces figs, I'll let you see because those figs don't come out until the late fall. Okay. And the funny thing about that fig, I don't think that it needs to be pollinated. It seems to just produce a fig on its own. And again, I have fruit out here, but I'm competing with the animals, especially with the apple tree. They love the apples and anything like that. I mean, and they start on those as soon as they're about this small. They can put it in their mouths. They run up the tree, they grab them, and they take off. Okay. So, anywho, let's see what else we have out here. I have these peppers that are blooming. So we're definitely going to have some peppers out here. Now, what I did, as you can see, I'm not an organized gardener. I like my garden to be what I like my garden to be. And I like it to have my signature on it. So I've seen people's gardens that look absolutely beautiful. They have everything all organized. Over here they got cabbages. Over here they got the greens and the tomatoes and all that. Well, I don't have the room for all of that, so I just kind of stuck it in where it would go, and I'm happy with it. So I'm going to see if I can produce some food here and keep it going. All right. Now, for the parsley, I want to take you inside and show you what I got and what I did with it. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we are. I wanted to show you what I did with the parsley. You saw where I cut it off. So I left about this, I cut about this much off. I brought the stems inside and I shaved off the leaves and I put them in my dehydrator. This is a wonderful dehydrator. And as a matter of fact, any kind of herbs that I have planted in the garden, I use this dehydrator. And it's nice, easy. I just put the leaves in there for uh, maybe an hour or so. And look how they came out. This is parsley. And I made some soup with it last night. The smell is rich. When you smell this, and you compare it to what you buy in the store, it's totally there's no real smell in what you buy in the store, but this parsley that you grow in your own yard makes a difference. So I'm all for growing, growing your own food. I'm on board with that. Now let me show you the seeds. This is what you need. And believe me, I'm gonna be getting another one. All right. It's a lot of seeds in here. And you saw what it produces, and I'll let you know when the fruit comes out what the fruit looks like. Okay, provided that I'm growing it the right way. But still, this is full of seeds. I will leave a link in the description where you can get this, and it gives you really good instructions for uh, long-term storage. where these seeds can last you years and years and years. Okay, and I keep mine in the freezer so they can last as long and be as fresh as possible. So I'll leave a link for both of these, for the seeds and for the dehydrator, because those of you who are growing anything in your garden, you might want to dehydrate it to make it just last. I know some things that I grew in my garden last year, and I used this dehydrator. I ate on it all winter. So it's a really good thing to have. So thank you so much for joining me today. And I hope that I've said something and showed you something that can really help. And the point is, even if you only got just a little patch of land, you can grow something. And I didn't show you that I am growing sweet potatoes out there. So, and this is the first time I've ever tried to do it, and the vines look pretty good. I'm still fighting bugs, but I did see a hint um, where someone used mint, boiled mint leaves, and made a spray and sprayed it on your vegetables to keep the bugs away. So I'm going to try that because I got plenty mint out there. So anywho, I'll let you know how it goes. Thank you for joining me today, and I really hope to see you next time.